Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Bow, bow, bow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Welcome along to the Melchester Odyssey. Once again, I have in my right hand, once again, the 10th of March 1984 issue of Roy the Rovers, which we attempted to get through last week and failed miserably. So we'll pick it up and try and get it finished today. What's happened is Melchester are taking on Redstoke in a midweek Canon League match, as it was then. And they're being watched by two very serious-looking men who, it turns out, are from their next opponents, Carford City, who Rovers are going to play in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. I'm trying to think who that one looks like with the fucking slightly wavy hair, the grey-haired fellow who's the manager. He is called Mike Gladwin. No, Mike Gladwin's the captain. Dennis Blair. He is. He looks like someone, Brock. Maybe. No, I don't know. He looks like. Can you? Help me out. Who is he?
Who, the big head with the
big-headed fella.
He looks like someone from Spider-Man.
Right.
He looks like someone more from a Marvel comic, like you know the geezer who is Spider-Man's editor. Like he's always like, I want pictures on my desk by dawn.
Yeah, he just looks like someone from real life. I can't figure out who. That'll come to me. Don't worry. So yeah, they're watching Melchester. And Rob Richards has just scored a goal, which was set up for him by Roy. It's very generous of Roy. The partnership between the two R's is really blossoming, says a fan, which of course sparked off our conversation about acronyms, didn't it? Because we said the two R's, and we spoke about the SAS, which was Shearer and Sutton at Blackburn in the 90s. And then we went off on a tangent about acronyms.
Didn't know. So I said, maybe rashly, that I was not a fan of acronyms. Since then, various listeners have been in touch with acronyms that they reckon are quite good. And I have to admit, some of them are pretty good. So, like LASER, for instance.
LASER's the best one, I think.
Yeah, it is. And then they also said, like, ABBA. That's decent too, so...
Well, there's some acronym Lampards who got in touch because I said TTFN was one, but apparently if you can't see it as a word,
that's not an acronym. It's just an abbreviation.
Exactly, it's an abbreviation, and I guess SAS, by that definition, is an abbreviation and not an acronym.
Unless you said SAS, which no one does,
SAS,
but I can imagine that being the sort of thing that Alan Partridge would say.
Yeah,
a SAS operative.
Yeah. So a lot of grey areas in the acronym stroke abbreviation world.
There is.
Which we'll try and unravel over the weeks to come in the main episodes. So, yeah, Rob Richards just put it in the back of the net. And, God, look how fucking old he looks as he's celebrating the goal with Roy. They look like twins.
They do.
Look at that. Jesus, he's meant to be 18. Fuck
yeah,
me.
But he's probably been smoking since he was 10.
Yeah, this is that time of the
only
history.
Eating steak pie.
Yeah, that sounds good. And Roy goes over to celebrate the goal with him, and as always, Roy can't just celebrate a goal with a teammate. He says to him, this is at full time. He says to him, see how easy it is to work as a team, Rob?
You silly, you selfish little cunt.
Yes, you got a goal, but did you notice that I Roy Race provided you with the goal by chipping the goalkeeper from the byline.
Me and Len have been doing a lot of collaborative FIFA tournaments where we play together as West Ham or England or whoever. Yeah. And it's been really enjoyable on the whole, but we have quite different styles. His style is, I would say, quite selfish, and yet I can't complain because he has scored the majority of the goals.
He's really good.
However, I'm really good at winning the ball back and providing assists, which he will not acknowledge. He will actually just laugh and go, "Yeah, we won that tournament. How many goals did you score?"
All right.
Probably none. Okay. Right. So it can get a bit fractious. But when West Ham won the Champions League, there was just simply nothing other than pure joy last week. When we beat Juventus in the quarter-final with a last-minute winner at their place, we dubbed it the Miracle of Turin. And were genuinely still buzzing 2 days later talking about it. And when we eventually went on to win, we were I knew from the moment we got that win in Turin, I thought that our name was on the trophy. I just knew. There was no fear. In all the games that came after that, there was just no fear. So we were really buzzing. But then things turned sour at the weekend because we decided to do the Copa Libertadores as Santos. And this is just me saying to people out there, I try to be a good dad. I try to take my role as a dad seriously. I try to be a friend to my son as well. But sometimes I am a prick. And on Saturday, I was a prick. Because do you know what I did halfway through a game when we were Santos versus someone or other? I literally put the remote down and said, I'm not playing anymore. And he went, what are you doing? And I said, I'm not playing. And he went, why not? And I said, because you haven't passed once in this whole game. And I'm only a spectator, so what's the point of me even holding this? It's a waste of time. And I can tell you, Andy, I was serious. Right?
Oh, I bet,
I'm very embarrassed. But he hadn't pressed pass once. And I said, this is pointless. I mean, I might as well just watch. I'm happy to watch you play FIFA. I'm happy to watch you. And I didn't know that my wife was behind us in the room. And she just walked round and gave me a look. She gave me a wry smile, as if to say, really? You've almost literally thrown your toys out of the pram and are refusing to play with your 11-year-old son because he won't pass to you. I've done
this before.
Yeah.
I've done this before with my son and a couple of
relieved to hear that.
You hear yourself saying it as you're saying it, and it's
it's so funny.
What the fuck?
You just think I'm being a complete dick. You can see yourself. It's almost like out of body experience. You're looking at yourself, thinking, "I'm being a total dick here." The good thing about him now being older, 11, had that happened when I was younger, it might have upset him, or he wouldn't have understood that I was the dick. We would have ended up in an argument. Whereas now he is old enough to just go, "Dad, you are being an absolute knob." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that kind of snaps you back a little bit. And in the end, we did get back to playing. But it was a low moment. But it happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
It does. But you do find yourself looking over yourself and thinking, why am I saying this?
Later on, I said to him, I'm sorry that I was a dick during FIFA earlier. And he went, yeah. And I went, I know it's probably soured our collaborations for a while. And he said it has. And I said, but son, we'll always have Turin. And he was like, yeah, we will. Nothing will ever spoil that memory. Literally, when he scored the last minute in Turin, I'm not joking, we were up fucking running around the living room celebrating more than we've celebrated a West Ham goal in over a year.
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally just going fucking ape shit. It was so exciting.
I think actually the time I did something similar was also collaborative FIFA.
Yeah, that's it. And it's worse than playing against each other.
Yeah. And it was over him slagging me off for not being very good.
Oh yeah. And
I'm like, but I've hardly played the game. You play it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh God. Probably haven't played it with him since.
He slagged me off to other people as well. On Saturday, we were in the gym and we do this training with my trainer Jordan, and he goes, "Oh, what's going on with FIFA at the moment?" And I said, Len, tell him we won the Champions League. He went, "Yeah, we won the Champions League. It was great, blah blah blah." And then he just said, as an aside, but so I could hear, he goes, don't even think he scored a goal in the whole tournament. Which, by the way, is bollocks. I did score.
How many did you score, Sam?
Well, less than him. But every time if he receives the ball anywhere in the opposition's half, he will always try to go on a slalom run. He'll always try for the cocaine goal. I mean, to the extent he's starting to worry whether he has maybe he started doing a bit, because he can't receive the ball without his first thought being, I'm going to beat every defender and score. Yeah. And that usually doesn't work.
There might be some kind of kiddie cocaine going around.
Yeah, could be.
Just low level, just to get them.
Low level, yeah. It's probably that fucking Millwall ice cream van that's been selling it to him. I wouldn't be surprised. Classic.
So that's kind of what's happened here. Roy has gone over to Rob Richards and just took him away at the metaphorical knees.
Well done.
See how easy it is to
well
work
done,
as a
but
team,
at the same time, you're a bit of a cunt.
Yeah. Now, you've done it my way, like I told you, and it's worked out for you, so very good. He says, see how easy it is to work as a team, Rob? The goals still come. You cunt. And Rob says, wish I'd realised it before, Roy. No, I can't wait to get at Carford City. And the mention of Carford made Roy glance up at the stand, and he notices Dennis Blair, that bison-headed Carford manager, leaving. How's he spotted him? You know what I mean? There's thousands of people in. How's he spotted him? Roy thinks, aha, so old Dennis has been checking up on us, eh?
Old Dennis.
I thought he might check up. It's called scouting. It's what happens.
This is like Frank Lampard and fucking Bielsa all over again. Yeah. You're not allowed to look. It's cheating.
Yeah.
Everything we do on match day has to be a surprise. If not, it's unfair.
Oh, man. Frank Lampard. Anyway. Later, as Roy and Rob gave a television interview. Oh, they've been interviewed together. The interviewer... who has got the ginger afro that Noel Baxter sports. There's like 5 hairstyles in this
The
comic,
illustrator loves a fucking ginger afro. It's so weird, because I swear to God, they weren't that common in the 80s.
I could think of Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
If anyone think of any other UK 1980s ginger afros,
then please get in touch.
Well, Ian Wallace, who played for Nottingham Forest, he had one as well, didn't he?
Don't even remember him.
He played for Sunderland for a bit. Yeah, you remember him? He had a ginger afro. The interviewer says, I gather that Dennis Blair was watching the game, Roy. Whoa, big talk. Would you have a little cup time message for him? Now, again, the fact that the opposing manager is there watching the game, that's not... Again, it's not newsworthy.
So what?
But, all right. But Roy's got an excellent brown leather jacket on. Leather coat, almost. It's not... you can't call it a jacket, it's a coat.
It's got a tiny bit of sort of a safari vibe to it. Although, obviously...
It's very shiny.
You wouldn't wear leather to a safari. But what I mean is the sort of flared collar and the sort of chest pockets and stuff like that. It's got a utilitarian sort of vibe.
There's a lot of action going on about it.
Yeah. This is my action jacket, right? And I wear and so be warned, because when I'm wearing it, I'm ready for action. Ask me a silly question and you might just get introduced to fucking Bill and Ben the Flower Pot men here. That's what I call my fists. Next question.
I got nothing with Andrews.
Yeah, he's a good pal.
We were at a function for the Water Rats.
Yeah, it was a fundraiser for them tap dancing brothers who've fallen on hard times, and I was negotiating with him over my forthcoming "This Is Your Life."
I heard him saying it to Rod Hull, an emu in the car park.
He threatened Rod Hull, and it was Rod Hull. I have seen scared before. What I have never seen scared before is emu, but he was scared on this occasion. And that's testament to Big Eamon. And that's when I thought, I'm going to nick that.
I saw a little bit of shit dribble down that emu's leg. No, I don't know how he done that. But
And I thought,
there you go.
that
I
emu
definitely
does
saw
not
it.
scare easy. So I goes over to him and I says, I've never seen emu scared like that before. What do you say to him? And he told me, he said, I'll introduce them to Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men. I said, what the fuck's that? He said, it's when I calm my fists. I said, all due respect, Mr. Andrews, I would like to steal that phrase. And we came to a financial arrangement and I am now allowed to use it for the next 12 months. I've licensed it from him.
Maximum 15 times a week. Which I think should be enough.
I'm well within that at the moment, so it's no problem. I could say it again to you now, but I won't. It'd be a waste.
Next question. Would you have a little cup-type message for him? I certainly have, says Roy. I was hoping you'd ask me that.
I'm glad you fucking asked.
He says, Dennis is obviously a bit anxious about Rob and I playing as twin strikers. Well, let me tell him not to worry too much. And then he says, because I doubt if either Race or Richards will score against Carford. What? What the fuck? And Rob Richards' face
he's got faces
is
going,
entirely changed. He's taken on the face of someone else. He's taken on the face of, I dare say, a young woman in this frame.
He's morphed into someone else. I love it how it's suddenly, after that bit of like sort of intrigue and drama, bang, we cut to a right smoky boozer where men are guzzling pints of beer.
It's the players' lounge. There's a big ashtray in the middle of the table.
Love it.
Soon in the players' lounge, and there's Alec. What's he called? Alec Amor, who of course is the current
the
standing
interim
chairman or
guy.
whatever.
Yeah,
interim chairman, isn't he? Yeah. After it was the previous one. It wasn't Ben Galloway. It wasn't.
no,
Ben
it
Galloway
was
the general manager.
Sam Barlow, was it?
Sam Barlow. That's right. Big bastard Sam Barlow.
Big
Mutton chop Barlow.
local butcher.
Yeah.
Local meat impresario Sam Barlow. he stormed out over something really petty. He just said, keep your club, I'm off. Because Roy disagreed with him on something small.
Yeah. Alec Amor nursing a pint, as they all are there at that table. His fellow director says, that was a strange thing to say, Roy, about you and Rob failing to score.
Fuck off. Fuck off, bean counter.
Fuck off, Ponce.
I'm here for a few jars, not to listen to your fucking pathetic opinions. Your
fucking media analysis.
Your meaningless fucking take on events.
Why are you even in it? It's fucking players' lounge. Is there not a room with fucking cunts written above the door you can go in?
Go back to your abacus, cunt.
Before I force feed you it up the fucking arse.
Ever seen a fucking bloke with an abacus wedged up his ass? Well, you're gonna, because I'm gonna do it. Then I'm gonna make you look in the mirror.
Hope you've got a mirror. Yeah.
One of them behind mirrors like you get in the barbers. I've got one, especially for occasions like this. Blackie, go and get me one behind mirror. Yeah, I'm about to shove something up his ass. Yeah,
the big one with a handle on it. Yeah, that's the one. Size of an arse, not a head.
Shall I get the head one or the arse one? Get both. All right, man.
I might give him an haircut as well.
And stop by that cunt's office and grab a fucking abacus as well. What's like on plan now? It sounds great. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Players' lounge is my favourite part of match day.
When we've won, Roy always gets up to some hijinks.
And Roy always humiliates one of the board members.
And then he takes us for fish and chips after.
He always sexually humiliates one of the board members.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
Yeah, that was a strange thing to say, Roy, about you and Rob failing to score. Not really, Alec. What?
Incorrect.
Doubling down on it. As I told that reporter, Carford have got the best home defensive record in the league. And then a big close-up on Roy's head and shoulders as he's delivering some important information. But that jacket's just fucking overpowering.
So
everything.
shiny, yeah.
Look at the shine on it.
I think he looks like he's either waxed it or maybe even greased it, oiled it before he's come out.
His fucking face is shining as well. The reflection
I've
coming
got
off
to oil
the
my
jacket.
jacket, my hair and my face in order to go to the players' lounge. I can't afford to be seen non-shiny.
The reflection's coming off the jacket onto his face, which is then reflecting back onto the jacket and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and it's
lovely.
Fucking blowing my mind.
It reminds me of that White Stripes video for Seven Nation Army. You know, the one where it's just like there's just like continuous reflections into infinity.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where they got the idea from, off of me and my jacket.
My jacket back in 1984. Yeah, he says
they had to pay me for that. Jack White gave me a call about it. I said, fine, you could use the system that I developed, but you're going to have to pay me. He said, no problem.
I said, thank you very much, Jack White. TTFN.
I don't like your music. I think it's shit. But I'm happy for you to use my reflective system as a concept in one of your pop videos.
I said, I've had a look at Wikipedia. So far, you have failed to trouble the charts, and I do not feel as though this particular song will be a hit either. So I'll give you a reduced rate.
Therefore, I'm not interested in anything at the back end. I want some cash up front.
Massive fucking mistake. I could have had a percentage every time they sang it at Jeremy Corbyn at one of his rallies. Every time Michael Van Gerwen comes on at the darts. I could have had a cut of all of them.
They offered me 50% of the rights to that song, and I fucking laughed them out of my office. What a twat.
50% of the rights to a song just for using some reflections.
Yeah. It's
What
amazing some of the
nightmare.
opportunities that my life has thrown up. Some of them I've taken, some I have not taken. Some of them I regret. Some of them I do not.
Yes, Blackie, tucken is a word.
Shall I write that
I have
down,
got
Roy?
it copyrighted.
No, do not write it down. If you do write it down, you will effectively owe me money, as it is my word.
I've got it trademarked. Carford have got the best home defensive record in the league, mainly thanks to Kurt Gruber, the German international defender they signed at the start of the season. He's like Duncan Mackay and Vic Guthrie rolled into one. It's little wonder they call him the Hammer of Dortmund.
Fucking hell.
Look at the fucker.
he looks deranged. He looks like one hard cunt, doesn't he?
He's gone up to win a header, and it looks like he's just taken the opponent out on the back of the head with his elbow as
He's
gone in.
smashed him, and he's pulling such a scary facial expression. Axie! Smash!
Because you can see by his movement lines that he's coming in at an angle towards the defender.
Ich bin
and he's
coming
just
in
completely
hot.
wiped him out.
Bang!
Good night!
Good
Sweet
Nichten!
dreams, baby boy!
Good Nichten, little Wiener boy! My little Wiener Schnitzel! My little Liebling!
Oh, man. I don't know. I've never seen Gruber before. Maybe this was about the time when I stopped buying this comic, but I really hope Kurt Gruber signs for Melchester at some point.
That'd be great.
That needs to happen.
Usually when there's a star player on an opposing team that they make a big deal out of, that player then signs for Melchester afterwards. By the way, talking about Germans, I was just meant to say to you over Christmas, watching a lot of sometimes I just do like a selection of my favourite Simpsons that we watch together. And I realised that of all of the funny Simpsons lines of all time, I think the funniest is the one where Grandpa's telling the story of his time in the Second World War, and at one point he has to disguise himself as a chorus girl at a beer hall in Berlin, and he's on stage in makeup and a dress dancing in this chorus line, and Hitler is in the audience, and
and Grandpa is having to use coconut shells inside his bra as pretend tits, right? And during the dance, Hitler's making eyes at him, and he's making eyes back. But then one of the coconuts falls out of his bra, and Hitler points and shouts, "Ach Sie, das ist not eine Booby."
Fantastic.
And of all the great lines in The Simpsons, I don't think there's any show that's ever had as many great lines as The Simpsons. It's funny that the greatest one of them all is uttered by Hitler, a man who only, I think, appears in one episode.
Possibly. There'll be a website that'll tell you how many times Hitler appears in The
Actually,
Simpsons.
you're wrong. Hitler has been in it 4 times on the following episodes.
Yeah.
Thanks in
I mean,
advance
that
to
whole-
any Lampards about to send that to me.
I've said it before, but that whole thing about The Simpsons, of course, was never funny after season 10. We watched a random one from season 16 over Christmas. It was great. It was full of brilliant lines.
Yeah.
You know, The Simpsons,
They
maybe
set
wasn't
the
as
bar
great as it
very
was.
high.
They did, yeah. It's still funnier than, like, way other
Most
sitcoms,
things, yeah.
Most things ever.
I don't even know
So,
what
shut up.
series that is. Das ist not eine Booby. But Das ist not eine Booby it's hard to beat in the history of anything, any comedy. Ach Sie, das ist not eine Booby.
I've tried to see if Kurt Gruber actually signed for Melchester subsequently as a spoiler. And what came up in the result was Kurt Gruber was a Nazi politician and from 1926 to 1931 was the first chairman of the Hitler Youth.
Oh, that's where they got the
Oh,
name
dear.
from.
That's unfortunate. So I suspect that Kurt Gruber doesn't last very long in Roy of the Rovers because someone may have pointed that out to them, and he'll have been removed as a character. Kurt Gruber, Roy of the Rovers. There are no results. Oh, there's 2. Kurt Gruber signed for Carford after the 82 World Cup. Rudi Gruber was Germany's top scorer at the 82
Rudi
World Cup.
Gruber.
He signed for Port Dean. Who knows all this stuff? Weird. All right, anyway. So there's Kurt Gruber. Definitely not former chairman of the Hitler Youth, but he might be related to him. And then we see Roy returning home. He's clearly pissed. Look at him. He's kicked the door
His
in.
face in this frame is so he doesn't just look pissed. He looks like he's on ecstasy, but I don't know if ecstasy was actually a thing yet in 1984. So I don't know. But his eyes are fucking all over the place.
This frame and subsequent frames, because he's just.
Kids, I
It's
brought you
9 p.m.
I
Saturday
brought
night stuff.
chips, but I accidentally ate them. I bought you an abacus. Look, it's a bit dirty. We'll need to wipe it down. But that'll help you
Rinse
with
under the tap.
That'll help you with your counting, won't it? Mongo or whatever your name is. You use that for your counting.
Oh, fuck, it's Roy Jr., isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we called you that, so I'd remember.
Right,
Yeah.
Can you count yet? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't matter, soft lad. It's all right.
Can you hear me?
You're a good lad. You're good lad. Go on, get in your cage. I don't want you pooing on the floor.
So he comes in, his arms are outstretched as the kids run towards him.
His tie's all undone.
Roy Jr., Dad, you're not really scared of Kurt Gruber, are you? Roy says, hey up, who's been watching me on the television then?
You like seeing Daddy on the telly? Daddy's
been on the
very
Space Age
famous.
telly. Fucking hell. He kind of gives Penny a sort of half kiss on the cheek, but he sort of missed her cheek.
Kissy,
His tie's loose around his neck.
I'll kiss for my favourite lady. Told me that.
I was going to get you some flowers from the garage, but I forgot.
Well,
Never mind.
they didn't have any flowers because they'd all died. I was going to get you a packet of Tic Tacs that I know you like the orange ones, but I ate all of them.
I was going to get you a packet of seeds so you can grow your own flowers, because that's more personal, isn't it?
But what I got you is something better than all of that. I got you a little kiss.
Kiss on the cheek.
And it's
No.
free, but you can't buy that Not unless you're down at the docks.
Which was somewhere I've never been.
And you'd have to get that off a lady prosser. They don't have men prossers in Melchester. No, thank you very much. I think they have them in America.
She says, I wouldn't believe everything your father says on television, kids. The undercurrent there is, I wouldn't believe anything your father says, full stop. He says, don't get me wrong, Penny. This Carford game is really vital. Really vital. And then the next frame, he's managed to collapse into his big armchair, which I'm so jealous of. Penny's pouring him a cup of tea. It should be coffee, really. Get him sobered up. He says, Melchester are out of the Milk Cup and we've no hope of winning the league.
But, you know, I don't care. I don't care. Goodbye. Goodbye. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got a lovely family, a beautiful wife, and 2 lovely children. Oh, sorry, 3. There's the baby one as well.
We don't see very often.
And I'm happy. And look at the size of this fucking armchair. They can't take that away from me.
I bolted it to the fucking floor.
I'd like to see them fucking try. Where's my shiny jacket? Penny! My shiny jacket's missing. It was on me a moment ago. Where is it now, damn you, woman? Oh, sorry, now I hang it up.
The boy has put it on his back and he's crawling around on the floor like an animal. Make him stop.
He's biting at the carpet.
Shoot him!
Get his medicine.
Of course, this is exactly what Pep Guardiola said the other day after Man City lost against Manchester United. Did you see it?
Oh, no, what did he say?
When I'm going to win the Carabao Cup, we'll probably win the league, but I don't care.
Did he?
He said as long as we put in good performances like today, that's all that matters.
As long as I have love, and as long as there is still a sun in the sky and a flower in the park, then I will always be happy.
I've already won those ones before. I think that someone else should have a turn.
How many times must a man win a thing?
Before that thing becomes meaningless.
That's Shakespeare wrote that, so it must be true. Calvin Phillips, I blame him, the fat pig.
It says, we've no hope of winning the league or clinching you away for cup place. So fucking Mungo does some deduction and says, so the Rovers have got to win the FA Cup.
Oh, who fucking rattled your cage? Fucking hell.
We might win it, I don't know. We're certainly going to win the league. Don't worry, Dad, you'll do it. Rovers will beat a lot of them on their way to Wembley. So we don't need to beat a lot of them. We only need to beat 3 more because we're in the quarterfinals. Get it right, son. Roy thinks to himself, I wish everyone has such faith in me. I go to sleep now.
Night, everyone.
Yeah. And then we see the Rovers team coach making its way
careering through a thunderstorm at high speed.
Yeah.
Very urgent.
Through absolute wilderness as well, on their way to Carford, as they travelled up to Carford 2 days later, wherever that is. We see a speech bubble coming from the bus, and it's Roy talking to Duncan Mackay. Duncan, I think it's time Rob found out what it's like to play against a man like Kurt Gruber. Do you think you could copy his style in training? I'll do my best, Roy. This is Duncan Mackay. Well, hang on, they're on the bus on their way to play Carford. When have they got a training session planned? Where are they going the day before Carford?
We'll do the training session on the bus. All we need is the fucking aisle.
All you need is just fucking duff him up a bit.
We'll all do a bundle on that young kid, Rob Richards. When I give the sign, everyone fucking bundle the cunt. Give him a taste of what's coming.
And then we see over the page, Duncan Mackay did more than his best. He's sticking the elbow into Rob Richards, going in hard on him. Hey, watch it, says Rob Richards. That's it, Duncan. Use your weight. Hustle him out of his stride. Vic Guthrie's confused by this aggression. I don't get it. Roy seems to be taking the threat of Kurt Gruber far too seriously. And Noel Baxter says, he used to say that Melchester never feared any one player. But that was before Kurt Gruber came along from Germany and the Hitler Youth. Blackie Gray, I could be making the mistake of paying the opposition too much respect, like the England manager did in a recent game. Oh, what the fuck's that referring to? What's Blackie referring to there? The England manager.
So
That's weird. I wonder if something had happened in real life.
That would have been Bobby Robson, wouldn't it?
It'll have been Bobby Robson early 84, yeah.
Showing too much respect that we didn't qualify for the Euros in 84, did we?
No, we didn't.
Maybe it's some sort of reference
Blackie Gray's
to that.
correctly identified why, yeah. So Roy says, right lads, gather round. Now I'm going to tell you how we're really going to play against Carford. On to the next day, they're at Carford. The Carford team come out and they're wearing basically the West Germany kit of the era, which they've probably done it for Kurt Gruber. Changed their entire kit. That's why he signed for them. Hooray! Shout the crowd. Carford! Carford! God, Gruber must hate them fans. Old Roy's been shooting his mouth off. Now the hammer is going to shut it for him. He must be itching to get it racy. Look at the hammer. The hammer of Dortmund striding onto the pitch. He looks pretty German as well.
And the fucking look on his face. Just fury. Like he's angry. He's going out onto the pitch angry and ready.
I think this illustration's been borrowed from like Battle or Commando or one of those comics.
Yeah, he looks like a German soldier, like careering into battle.
Yeah. And within a moment of the kickoff, ball comes across towards Roy. Here it comes, the first clash between Roy and Gruber. Kurt has been given the task of marking Roy out of the game. Seconds later, look at this. He's just fucking thrown him to the floor, hasn't he? With his forearm smash on Roy's back.
Have that, pretty boy.
Yeah. Take that, pop star. Ooh! Roy falls to the floor. And the hammer has won the first round. If Gruber can keep this up, Carford are home and dry. I think it takes more than that to win a football match.
Yeah. Well, back in those days, I do think it was possible to nullify the team's main threat through violence. You could get away with it.
Maradona was victim of it all the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could get away with it. But the thing is, it all depended on your star being easy to cow. Do you know what I mean? So Maradona and famously Pele, and in more recent years Messi, they get the shit kicked out of them, although Messi doesn't get it as bad as those other players did, because in the old days refs allowed it. But they never, ever, they're like weebles. You knock them down, they get straight back up and keep going. There were players on a lot of teams who were the skillful, silky player. I guess the likes of Glenn Hoddle, who you could sort of maybe intimidate. Bit unfair on Glenn there. Not saying he was easy to intimidate, but I'm using him as an example of your Rolls-Royce creative hub.
Maybe Pat Nevin as well. I imagine Pat Nevin wouldn't have dealt with a kick in very much.
You'd give them a reducer, wouldn't you, early on?
Yeah. So I don't even know if that's been given as a foul. It probably hasn't. The hammer has just bundled him to the ground. And that's the end of this one. It says next week, and there's some speech marks. Race and Richards don't even look like scoring. So we'll see. All right, that's it from this one. And we'll be back and we'll find out what happens with the Dortmund hammer and the FA Cup run next time. Thank you for listening and goodbye.
Goodbye.